Now our next session is about a study on the safety risk assessment of a marine LNG bunkering operation from Liu Chen, Associate Researcher, China Waterborne Transport Research Institute. Now the floor is yours, Mr. Chen, please.
Yes. Excuse me, could you hear me?
Hello,
Excuse
everyone.
me?
My topic is study on safety risk assessment of marine LNG bunkering operation. My name is Liu Chen, and I come from the China Waterborne Transport Research Institute. My presentation will contain 4 parts. The first is the background, the second is the risk identification, the third part is the accident simulation, and the final part is the risk assessment. First, I want to introduce some background. At the rapid development of international economy, problems such as the insufficiency and unreasonable structure of energy resources are increasing. In recent years, environment regulators have been putting the pressure on the maritime industry to reduce the amount of pollution caused by the ship transportation. And during the 70th session of the MTEC of International Maritime Organization, the January 1st, 2020 was set as implementation date for the significant reduction in the sulfur content of fuel oil used by ships. At that time, the ships have to use the fuel oil with a sulfur content of no more than 0.5. And under the new global limit, the LNG has become the most popular alternative fuel, and many international shipping enterprises have begun to adjust the ship energy structure and build a large LNG power fleet. With the rise of the use of LNG as a shipping fuel, the demand for ship fueling is increasing. And LNG bunkering is the process of transferring the LNG to a ship for use as fuel. And there are 3 main types of LNG bunkering, including the ship-to-ship, the truck-to-ship, and the terminal-to-ships. And recently, the ship-to-ship is a very popular type of fueling ships because of the advantages such as the less pollutant compared to the other traditional method. And in 2020, the 18,600 cubic meter LNG filling ship named the Natural Gas Express completed the single LNG filling service with the world's largest flow for the 23,000 TEU fuel power container ship named Duffy Jack Set in the Rotterdam port. And recently, in China, the first ship-to-ship LNG bunkering was completed at the port of Yangshan of Shanghai on March 15th this year. And the world's largest bunker barge, named Haigang Weilai, delivered LNG to a container ship while the container ship continued to carry out the cargo operations. The second part is the risk identification. The LNG bunkering is a very popular type because of the advantage of good flexibility, the high bunkering efficiency, and the offshore bunkering. At the same time, the requirements for the LNG bunkering operation safety are also relatively high due to the risk during the filling process. The process involved in LNG bunkering operation can be roughly divided into 4 processes including the filling, the navigation, the bunkering, and the anchoring. The head related to the LNG bunkering mainly include such as the fire, the wiper diffusion and remote flush, such as the brittle fracture of steel structure exposed to the LNG leakage, and the overpressure of transmission system caused by the thermal expansion and vaporization of LNG, and the high thermal expansion coefficient of LNG, and the rapid phase change caused by LNG splashing into the water, and some other reasons like that. The third part is the accident simulation. For the accident simulation, during the marine LNG bunkering, we simulated the pool fire thermal radiation on personnel, the equipment, and also the facilities. According to the result, when a pool fire occurred in the liquid tank of the LNG ship, the influence range of the flame radiation intensity of 12.5 kilowatt per square meter can reach 56.5 meters. And for the result of fire and explosion accident simulation, when the leakage of the unloading pipeline of 60 millimeter, the vapor cloud that reaches the lower explosion limit can spread to 145 meters in the downwind direction at most. And the fourth part is the risk assessment. For the ship-to-ship LNG bunkering operation, the risk assessment shall be carried out to eliminate the possible risks to the personnel and environment. Put forward mitigation measures if necessary, and provide relevant information and help for the formulation of filling restriction area and also the warning area. The risk assessment shall at least including such as the preparation, approach, and mooring of the ship before arrival, the preparation, testing, and connection of equipment, the LNG transmission and steam management, the removal of equipment after completion, and also the personnel and environment. And we also put forward countermeasures, including such as the established emergency response system, the special emergency organization, strengthen the monitoring of ship-to-ship LNG filling accident, and other countermeasures in our study. Finally, the ship-to-ship filling had the advantages of good mobilities and flexible operation, and also at the same time, due to the high risk during the filling process, the requirement for the operation safety are also relatively high. In order to ensure the standard, efficient, and safe operation of the ship-to-ship LNG bunkering, it is necessary to further the research on safety supervision, division of responsibilities, carry out the risk analysis, and also equip sufficient emergency capacity to ensure the safety of the operation. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chen. First of all, I beg your pardon for calling your title Mr. Yes, floor. Is there any question to Ms. Chen, please? Yes.
Chen, my name is Vinay Singhal from Semcop Marine. Just a question
Nice
on
to
the
meet you.
on the tanker side, what modifications were carried out? Like it had a LNG tank already on the tanker side, or for this bunkering operation, or what? I understand your study was all about safety, but on the tanker side, one of the sketch was showing the vent and everything on the tanker side also then, right? So you had to modify something on the tanker side also, apart from the bunker vessel, what was coming in? Anything, any specific
Yes.
safety measures have to be taken on the tanker side? Receiving vessel.
May I start to answer your question? Excuse me, could you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your question. You know, in China, the LNG bunkering of ship to ship is a very new operation for us. And the first ship to ship LNG bunkering was just completed at the port of Shanghai, Yangshan Port on the March the 15th this year. So we think, although there are many advantages of the LNG bunkering from ship to ship, due to the characteristics of LNG, there are still many safety risks during the operation. So for us, we just try to do some simulation during the LNG ship-to-ship bunkering. I know there are many problems in our simulation. We will carry out more research to ensure the safety of the LNG bunkering. We just simulate the ship part during the LNG bunkering from ship to ship. Yeah, that is my answer. Thank you.
Hello, Chin Hui here, also from Sengkok Marine and Vinay's colleague. Okay, I think what we wish to know is we understand that you perform mainly gas dispersion study, correct? When you identify, so-called define the different zoom during this bunkering operation. So did you also consider potential source of leakage from the receiving vessel? Which means in this case will be the container vessel which you are going to bunker the LNG. Or you only consider the potential leakage from the bunker vessel itself?
May I start to answer your question? Yeah, we just start a simulation just for the LNG bunkering ship to ship. We do not consider money influence to the simulation. So maybe in the future we will carry out more research to ensure that. Sorry. Maybe it's not
which means what you have done is you based on the so-called recent bunkering operation, you have performed some the so-called independent study to check the to identify the so-called potential risk during these bunkering operations, right?
Yeah. Sorry, maybe there's something wrong with my mind.
I think it's okay. You have answered our question. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Chen. Thank you, Chen, for your time.
Yeah,
it was excellent presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.